So hello everyone. So as requested by most of you, like there were some students who were asking for practice exercises, practice questions. So I will be just making these few videos with I'll be naming them at maybe little projects series where I'll be just creating some of the projects for your practice, and you can always learn a lot after implementing most of the things in these projects. So this is the first project that we are going to make. So it would be I would be calling it expanding cards or expanding panels, and we will have, for example, these type of four panels where we will just, if we'll click on one of the panel, this panel will open up and the rest of the panel will just go in that cool animation effects. So these type of effects you have seen on your website, you can make maybe the frequently asked questions or maybe some of the menus you want to display in a website, so you can use that. So what we'll be doing here is that I'll be using some of the CSS to implement all those stylings and things like that, and then using some of the JavaScript to implement this event listening, where when I'm going to click on one of the box, that box should be of that size and the rest should be of smaller sizes. So this is something that we are going to create. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Let's dive into it. So what I've done is that I have created one of the file that I am running over there. Like again, I've just started this expanded panels like of something, and side by side I'll be giving you some shortcuts to work with when you are working in Visual Studio Code. So I have set up one folder, which is, I have called it expanding panels, and I have only one index.html inside it, right? And I've told most of you that if you want to make the complete HTML document to start with, so one of the ways HTML5, I have just already told you about this, and if you press a tab, let me just close that. So you see that all necessary HTML is included over there. So there's one another method of doing that, and I'm just telling that one right now. So if you just place a sign of exclamation, like again, not sign, and you press a tab, so still you are going to get that same HTML5 document. So this is one thing. So let me just tell you again a bit more, that you just place a sign of exclamation and press a tab, so you'll get your complete HTML document over here. So this was the useful shortcut that I wanted to give you all people to start with. Okay, so on our main page, what we want to have. So as I have told most of you, that when you are working in HTML documents, you try to just make, the containers, the generic containers. So for making that, I will be making a container with a class. So another shortcut here, if you just write down whatever class you want to use. So if I use container, and if I press, like I've used dot container, the class always starts with dot. And if you press tab sign, so you will get a div tag by itself. I hope you found that, but let me just do that again. That if you want to make a div where you want to define a class, so you will do what? You will just write dot and class name. I'll be making a class container, a div container that would be containing everything. And after pressing a dot container, you can just press a tab and you'll get a div over here. So this is another interesting shortcut that you. So inside that, if you see that we have got four panels over there, like four sections over there. So I'll be making four divs inside that, right? So I have to make four divs inside that. So for making four divs, and let me tell you another an interesting way of defining, the four divs, is that if you just write down panel multiply four, like again, I want to make div which will have a class panel, and if I multiply it by 4, and if you just place something like this h3, so all panels will, like, what it will do. If I press a tab sign over here, if I press a tab sign, so you see what has happened. It has created 1 2 3 4 4 divs, and every div has a class panel associated with it, and every div has an h3 inside of it. So that's another useful thing. I'm just doing that once more. So just, I want to give you practice, everyone. So if I just close that, like this was the div I had, and what I'm doing, that I want to have, I want to have something like this: div class equal to panel, I will call it, right? And I want to give it a, for example, I'm just letting you know that how you'll be doing. And inside that div, I want to give an h3, for example. So h3, and there I will just put up some text anyhow, and I'll see that how I can. So if I see that I have just closed, so I want this type of div 4 times, right? So if you want 4 times this type of div, I will just do what? If you come here and you do what? You will use dot panel. And why dot panel? Because I want to implement this panel as a class. And then you press multiply by 4. Why? Because I want to have 4 panels, 4 divs that should have panel inside them. And then I can give this greater than sign and another tag, whatever I want to, another selector that I want to implement in that one. And if you press tab now, right, like the tab key, if you press a tab key, so you get what you are looking for, right? So if you see here, what I want to include as a text h3 is option 1, here is option 2, here is option 3, here is option 4, which are not visible in the beginning, of course, and we'll try to make that animation, right? So basically what we are doing is that I will give here as option 1, right? And here I will just give option 2, and here I will give option 3 and option 4. Option 4. So now I have got something. So if I run that, if I save that one, I will just show you right side by side what is going on. And I will be showing you side by side how it is going. So it has just created 4 panels, and why it has not refreshed? Okay, it has not refreshed it. So now if you see that now it has refreshed, and option 1, option 2, option 3, these are all inside separate divs, and these are all h3s inside that, right? One thing also that I want to make over here is that that we can implement some inline styles. So if I give here style equal to background color, I want to give a background color over here. We can do it anywhere, but light whatever color, because I'm just not going through that same color scheme which I've used in that file. Light blue, for example. If I give it light blue, and let me just copy this all. No need for the terminator over here. Now this copy this style is equal to, and I've copied that one, and I will just place inside this div as well. I want to give this div as a background color, not light blue, maybe light something else, light cyan, for example, whatever. And then I want to give the same to my this panel, and I can give light salmon color, and the fourth one as well. So I have implemented an inline style with everyone. That is giving what that typically is being. Okay, so there's something wrong. Okay, I have just missed that. There's that out. Okay, so background light blue, and here I can take any other color, whatever you want, light sky blue, whatever. Right, let's see. Okay, nice colors. So we have just changed those colors, and now we have got this one. Okay, so the thing is that I just want to tell you that there will be how it will be working. It will be working in a way that we will define a class which will be called as an active class. So that active class will be activated when we click on this. So this one, that this option 1 right now is in active state, and rest all are in passive state. This one is an active state now. This one is in active state. So it means we'll be needing one active class as well. So what I'm doing to start with is that I'm just defining. I'll be giving 2 classes to this. So I'm just giving an active class over here. This active class will be used for telling us which panel will be expanded panel at that particular point of time. Number 1. Number 2, those same things. Let me just give it a title. I just forgot to give that. Expanding panels, right? And what else do you need? We need to have a link to style sheet, right? Sorry, link to a style sheet, and I'll be creating style.css, which we have not created as yet. And we have to connect it to our JavaScript as well. So at the bottom, why we go to the bottom. So just add that script.js, which we'll be creating later on. So let me just see over here. So I will be adding a style.css, and I will be adding one file as script.js, right? So I will be just working on those files. So this was the first part where we have just created the HTML for our document, and this is our HTML. And now what it is showing, if you just see its output right now is something like this, where the an inline style has been applied to this, and this inline style is working for them. So I will be making another part of it where we'll just start working on styles and the rest of the things.